So today we talked about long division, but we didn't do it with the traditional long division steps. A lot of kids are having trouble with division, so we are starting out by just modeling it. And this helps students understand what division is and not just a bunch of steps that they memorize that they don't understand what they're for. So we are going to start out with dividing 156 and 12. 156 divided by 12. Okay, and here's how we model using base 10 blocks. That's what we used in class. So here's a base 10 block that is 10 by 10, and this represents 100. And this stick here is 1 by 10, that represents 10, and this represents 1. So we want to first model 156. So we have our 100 here. We don't need any more hundreds, but we only have 10 here. So we need 5 of them to make 156. So we need 5 tens. So let me add 5 tens. And then we add some ones. So we have a total of 6. So we have 156. So if we want to divide this by 12, what we want to do is create groups of 12. So here we have a 10 by 10 block. If I add these two sticks here, these two columns, I will have rows of 12. So this is 5, 10, 11, 12. So I have 10 rows of 12. So far I can take 156 and put them. So far I can take 156 and make 10 groups of 12, but then I have a bunch left over. So I need to see if I can group these into 12s. So if I put these two at the end of here, I have another 12. So let me make another row of 12. So here's another 12. So now I have 11 rows of 12. So far I can put the 156 into 11 groups, but I still have some more left over. So let me add another 12. Okay, now I have 12 groups of 12. But I still have some left over, so let me add this. And if I look at how many rows I have now, I have 13 rows of 12. Sorry, it's hard to write. Of 12. So 156 divided by 12 is 13. So another thing that we did in class is we talked about, we created something called quick pictures. Quick pictures are just kind of a little sketch version of these base 10 blocks. Now if we don't have if you don't have base 10 blocks to work with, then this is something that can be used as a substitute. So this is what we did in class. It's something you can do, like easily sketch out a long division problem using pictures and to see what kind of groups you're dividing your number into. So here, this is the exact same problem. This is, they just have it on the side here, but we started out with our 10 by 10 block here, then added another 2 going this way. We went this way, but they went down. And then we had 10 groups of 12, and then we used our remaining pieces to make more groups of 12. So 11 groups of 12, 12 groups of 12, 13 groups of 12. So that's what we just did. And now here is the sketched out version of that. It's exactly the same. We have these our 10 by 10 block here. They added 2 more 10s to make rows of 12, and then added 3 more rows of 12. So we'll do a couple of examples. And here is how you make your quick sketch here. 168 divided by 12. So let's say I start out with 168, so I'm going to start out with a big square that stands for 100. And then I draw 6 sticks. Each one of these stands for 10. And then I draw 8 circles. Each one of those stands for 1, so it's 168. So I'm going to divide that into groups of 12. So the way I start out is I take my 10 by 10 here, and I want to, so I cross that out because I just used it. I want to make rows of 12. So I'm going to take 2 of my sticks here, and now I have rows of 12. This is 10, 11, 12, and I have 10 rows of 12. Okay, so now I need to make more rows of 12. So I can take one of these 10s, put it under here, and then add 2 1s, like that. And I can just keep doing it until I run out of these pieces. And I've got to keep track of them. And if you notice, we are putting these in groups, and we are doing long division. This is a really good way to visualize division. So let's see how many rows I have, how many rows of 12. Well, I have 10 here, because this is a 10 by 10 block. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 more rows. If I add those together, how many rows do I have? 14. So 168 divided by 12 is 14. Okay, so we just modeled that with pictures. Here's another one. 182 divided by 13. So I'm going to model 182. Here's 100. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 circles here for my 2. So I'm dividing by 13, so I'm going to make groups of 13. So I'm going to take my 10 by 10 square here. I don't need this anymore, so I cross it out. And I want to make rows of 13, so I'm going to steal 3 of these 10s here. 1, 2. So I have, this is a row of 13, this is a row of 13, this is a row of 13. So I have 10 rows of 13 so far. 10 rows of 13. So now I need to make more groups of 13. Well, I don't have 3 1s. So what I need to do, I need to borrow one of my 10s and get change for it. Basically, I'm giving the cashier a $10 bill, and he's giving me 10 1s. So I changed this 10 into 10 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I have 10 1s. So now I can make 13. I'm going to take one of these, put it down here, and then cross out 3 of my 1s and put them here. 1, 2, 3. It's very important that I cross them out so I don't lose track of how many I used and how many I have left. And I'm going to take one of these, put it down here, and then 1, 2, 3. Another row of 13. So now I have 12 rows of 13. These 10 and then 2 more. But I still have some leftovers, so I'm going to add one of these 10s, and then 1, 2, 3. 3 more 1s. And one last 10. And then 1, 2, 3. My last 3 ones, and I'm out of ones. So I'm out of ones, I'm out of tens. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rows of 13. And now I get 14 for this answer too. That's just a coincidence. But 882 divided by 13 is 14. So let's do another one, but this time we have 228 divided by 12. So now we have 200s, so I'm going to put 2 boxes here. 1, 2, and then we have 2 in the tens place, so there's 2 tens, and then there's 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I need to divide this into 12. So I'm going to make one group of, or I'm going to make 10 groups of 12. So I'm going to borrow one of my, I'm going to cross out one of my hundreds here. And then I have 2 ones. So that's easy. I have 10 rows of 12. But now I have this 100 left and then a bunch of ones. So it looks like I need to get change for 100. So I'm going to change this into a bunch of into 10 tens. So I'm going to essentially give the cashier a $100 bill and he's going to give me 10 tens. So I'm going to change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 tens and then I have 8 ones. Okay, so let's see if we can make this, get some 12s out of here. So I'm going to take one of those, let me change color here, one of these 10s, and then 2 of the ones. Okay, so now I have another row of 12. I'm going to take another 10, and then 2 more of the ones. And then I'm going to take another 10, and then 2 more of the ones. I take another 10, 2 more of the ones, and another 10, and oh, there's no more ones. Well, I guess I'm going to have to break a 10. So I give the cashier one of the proverbial cashier one of my 10s, and he gives me a 10 ones. There we go. Okay, so now I can take 2 of these. I get another one of my 10s. And 2 more ones. Another one of my 10s. 2 more ones. Another 10. That's taking a long time. And then 2 more ones. And then finally another 10 and 2 ones. So, how many rows do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 rows. So if I add them together, I have 19 rows of 12. So 228 divided by 12 is 19. Okay? So if long division blows your mind, practice doing this. It will really help understand this concept.